It is Spa week on iRacing this week, and this weekend, if you guys are watching this like a month down the road or something, basically the 24 hours of Le Mans happened, and I didn't get to participate in it, but I watched a lot of the footage, and I'm sure you guys have heard about the split one, fourth split action that had happened. I didn't initially intend to make a video on Spa Week, but these two races actually ended up being really good, and I feel like a very good educational purpose, at least for myself and for you guys out there watching. But coming up to qualifying, I ended up doing really bad on this qualifying, but breaking at the 100 board, trailing as deep as possible into the first turn, coming up through a Rouge and Radeon. You can take this flat in the GT3 cars, especially in the Mercedes, because it's a very high downforce car. So it really helped out with taking it as flat as possible, especially if the tires are a little bit colder in a sense. I was able to take it flat there, even though the tires are still kind of warming up. You know how it is on that first lap of qualifying. Coming up to Radeon, though, we're going to be braking right at pretty much where the curb starts, taking as much curb as possible through these next two turns, and positioning ourselves really greatly in this next turn, getting on power as soon as possible when you hit that apex. Coming up through the double apex, though, you're braking at the curb pretty much again, doing a more V-shaped and getting yourself as far to the right as possible for this next turn, because you want to position yourself on this turn. You don't want to be all the way left and then have to yank the wheel all the way to the right, because it can kind of spin you out a little bit. So you just got to be very careful with that. Coming up to the very long left-hander, not very long, but a very fast left-hander, I should say, hitting every single apex as you can. Now, it's about right here that the tires are really up to temp, braking a little bit before the curb right there. I ended up braking a little bit late. As you can see, the line wasn't too perfect, but getting it on the power as soon as possible after that last turn and braking at the curb over here, taking a little bit of the inside curbing right there, and getting as far to the left as possible. You can take this part flat out if you just shift the gear right and take the correct line. I don't think I took it as flat right there, so it kind of jeopardized my lap a little bit, losing about a good 5/10, maybe even a second right there, because I ended up doing very poorly on this lap. I think I ended with like a 2:19. My best has been a 2:17.3, but breaking a little bit after the white line right there, going up into second right here, first gear, getting on the power pretty much as soon as you possibly can, doing a very straight line to finish off the lap and going on to the next lap. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to finish it off because I didn't have enough time, and it just completely went blank on me. So I am pretty much settling for P19 right now. I am very far back of the grid, as you can see. Coming up to the race start, we go green pretty much right after the last turn right there. So we're immediately 3 wide, taking some advantage of some positions of people not paying attention to the green light, which was very fortunate on our part. And coming up to after the first turn, already a Mustang is spun out. I'm not sure what happened right there, if he got spun out by somebody or if he just kind of did it to himself by getting early on the power. But coming up onto Radeon now, we take the slipstream of the Porsche, just trying to get, you know, as far to the close to the front of the pack as possible, because we've started very far back. I think we're right now P15 at this point. I ended up letting the Porsche take the position. I didn't want to take, you know, I want to fight for early leads, but as you can see, we're all grouped up at this point, so I'm just really trying to play it safe. McLaren was defending a little bit, so I took the outside line, just really trying to position myself on a good exit right here. McLaren and Ferrari are immediately going 2 wide onto the next lap, and it was pretty good. But luckily, one of them backed out, going up a Rouge right there, which was very beneficial for me, but also not, because I didn't get hit or anything. But I ended up losing the position right after gaining it. But so there wasn't a gain or a loss. But right here, Ferrari is trying to do a switchback on this other Ferrari and ends up tapping him pretty badly. But as you can see, the Ferrari view, he tries to get a little bit of a switchback, couldn't get the full car to rotate and spun him out. And it was about right here where I decided to do a little bit of fuel saving, because I am still a little bit farther into, I guess, you know, just farther back into positions, unfortunately. So people pitted early, people pitted on, you know, the lap they were supposed to, but I was able to get an extra lap out right here. So it ended up being beneficial for me. Some other people definitely, was fuel saving as well right here. McLaren and BMW in front of me. And immediately I realized that the McLaren is on new tires because he lost a position to the BMW right here. And his lines were just very finicky, very off. It wasn't, obviously what, warm tires would be. You don't want to take new tires in this. And as you can see right here, we took it too wide on him. He ended up backing out of the spot. That was on the last lap, and I ended up finishing P11 on that one. Next race, we are starting P5 though, so I ended up having a much better qualifying run right here on this, race right here. So we ended up jumping the gun, got an early position right there. So now we're P4, but we're going to lose it a little bit later on into the lap. You'll see very quickly. But coming up through a rouge, I ended up doing I think I did a little lift on coming up through a rouge just because I'm trying to get these tires warm. I wanted to immediately get these tires warm. Going through the dirt obviously isn't going to, be the best thing in the world, but right here, Mustang ends up getting the position back on me. So now I'm back into P5, and I absolutely get dive bombed right here. So another position gone right here. And it was very early on right here that I knew this Ferrari was going to be a big problem. And you're going to see that throughout the video. That's why I say this is kind of like an educational video for not just myself, but you guys. It's going to be a little shorter of a video because a lot more action happened this race, which you'll see a lot more of this race than the last race just because I was by myself all last race. But messing up my line just a little bit on this Ferrari, so I didn't end up getting the greatest run on him. But we are still trying to get as close to him as possible, soaking up as much as the slipstream. He was doing a lot of weaving, so I decided to back off of the position. I braked a little bit earlier than normal, and as you can see, he went absolutely wide. So he would have just taken me out right there. Had I, taken it too wide on him, he wouldn't have cared as well. P1 had a little bit of a spin out, which ended up making the Ferrari and P1, now that's P4, I believe, go side by side right there. But me and the Mustang ended up going side by side right here. I was bump drafting a little bit, and then right here, as you can see, I had to move the wheel back to the left because the Ferrari just dives it up on me again. And he luckily got it stopped, but I had to defend the position a little bit. I'm trying to get close to the Mustang, and right here, he actually ended up spinning me out. I tried to close the door on him. It was a okay move on his end. I don't think I would have made that, move, but right here it was the following lap, and I actually ended up spinning myself out, and this really, got me ticked off a little bit. I ended up hitting the speed limiter. So now we're at this point, we're running, I think, like P20. I think it was like a 30 car grid. A lot of people kind of DQ'd right off at the beginning. But I ended up hitting early, which ended up not being a good idea because this car right here, as you see, spun me out as he was trying to get into the pits. So three spinouts is not a good time. So fortunately enough, we pitted early, and we're trying to move as far up into the pack as we can. I'm doing a lot of push laps, just trying to keep the car on the road at this point. Abusing the curb right there. I ended up having an off track right there, and this Ferrari, I'm trying to, psych him out a little bit, trying to mess him up to where I can obviously get the position and keep going forward, because all these cars in front of me now are just back markers for me at least. But coming up through Rouge and Radeon, this car, he decides to go left, but then right back into, I think he was just trying to get middle of the track, but it didn't end up working out in his favor at all. As you can see, I'm going straight line. I kind of do veer to the left a little bit, but he ends up coming right back into my line, and unfortunately taking him out. It wasn't really anything I could have done. I thought he was going to move all the way to the left. Unfortunately, he didn't. But it was still a good, run on Spa Week this week. So hopefully you guys learn a little bit of something during this video. If you did, just let me know down in the comments.